we are now live on Facebook.
Well, the funny thing is, every time we bitch about Facebook as we go live, the stream goes down or something happens.
That's very true. Like right now, you're totally I guess it's lapsing right now. I don't know.
Great.
Yeah, every single time.
Hmm.
Good point. Good point. But yeah, so we are live. Alex, good seeing you.
Hey.
So you've got the orange tie and
Yeah, where's yours?
and
You
orange.
didn't
Sorry.
get the memo this morning?
Yeah, we still got some nice warm weather left, so I'm taking advantage of the polos. Polo and tie just really doesn't go, just doesn't set very well. Well, some
Yeah,
of us
really style it here.
some of us can really pull some stuff off, and I guess some of us just can't. So, it's Friday. So, but anyways, yeah, Refresh Friday. Everyone that's out there, welcome. Appreciate you attending. We've got a special guest today. We'll introduce here. Before we get started, though, I think we got. I hate the word house cleaning, but we've got a few things going on. One thing in particular, we've got a webinar coming up, right, Alex?
That's true.
We've got a webinar coming up with Dominion, and let me do a quick screen share if I remember how to do that. Which I don't think I remember how to do it. But anyways, if you head over to
share the right thing.
Yeah, no, that's why. But if you jump into Dealer Refresh and forums or over on the blog, there is an ad. Click on the ad and that'll take you to a landing page, fill out the information. We're not going to sell it to anybody or force, but that'll get you signed up for a great webinar that we've got hosting. When is that? Next
September 19th at 1 p.m. So this time, next Wednesday.
Perfect. So be sure to sign up for that, and it's going to be some great content, some great information around, of course, digital marketing. I think they're going to be touching on quite a few different topics.
Well, the main gist is how to assess your marketing vendor.
Yeah.
So something we all, I think we're all going to learn something there.
I think we talk about that every Friday by accident sometimes.
We might end up there today.
I'm sure we will. Well, speaking of today.
At least CRM providers, right, Sean?
Oh, yeah. Goodness. Speaking of the day, Sean V. Bradley, thanks for joining us today, man. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Thank you for having me.
You got it, man. How long has it been? Maybe a couple of years since we've actually had the opportunity to sit and talk.
It's been definitely a couple of years at least.
Because you're so busy, man. No one can keep up with Sean V. Bradley.
I'm getting
Unless
old,
you're on Facebook.
What do you got going on, man? Fill us in. What's going over there in Sean land?
Oh man, we're just really blessed. We're growing tremendously. Our main focus is the Bradley Demand platform. So what we've done is we're not stopping dealer synergy, but a lot of our training is really enhanced on the Lightspeed platform. And I just came back from the Lightspeed Summit. And It's crazy. I love going outside of our industry because we just learned so much. I met with a lot of other owners of the Lightspeed platform. Hung out with Jared from Cardone and a lot of people, that are not in our industry, and seeing how they use the platform and how they use the technology. And the CEO, Bradley, is brilliant. And so we're trying to really revolutionize the way that we do virtual training. So that's my focus.
No, that's fine. So the Lightspeed, I've heard that tossed around quite a few times. I believe there's a lot of trainers and consultants such as yourself inside the industry and outside that leverage the Lightspeed platform. What exactly is it, though, for anyone that's not familiar?
Okay, so Lightspeed is a virtual training, tracking, testing, certification platform. So There's a big difference of watching videos on YouTube or watching videos in some other LMS. What really separates the Lightspeed platform is the ability to turn on and have true interactivity, meaning I could come on screen and ask a question to whoever signs in, say, welcome to ABC Motors. I'm going to be your virtual trainer. Boom, boom, boom. Have you been in the automotive industry for 1 to 2 years or whatever it is? And depending what the trainee clicks on, will determine the type of message. So it's almost like pick your own ending. So it's a true interactive and virtual training experience. Plus they have gamification. So it's not just green screens or videos. There's multiple different types of ways that they train on the platform. It's very, very sophisticated.
And this is the platform that you use with your company and consulting, right?
Yeah. So the main platform I have is Bradley On Demand, and I've invested, Jeff, close to almost $3 million now, and I have roughly about 2,900 training modules from 80 different guest trainers on every aspect, from showroom, internet, BDC, full-blown digital marketing. And I've collaborated with Social Dealer. So Social Dealer has created a complete social media certification on there. I've collaborated with Vin Solutions. And so I went to Vin Solutions Corporate and I shot a tremendous amount of content there for my platform. And they came to my studio in New Jersey. And I'll give an example. This is one of the peeves that I was going to talk about anyway, is that CRM companies, CRM is one of the most important tools, period, in a dealership. It's like part of the central nervous system. But I'm going to quote from Vin, because I work with them at a very high corporate level. Their focus is not strategy, not process, not content, not details. If you go to Vin Solutions E-Academy, I got a ton of dealer synergy clients on the platform. So I have a master account. So when I log in, I've got a huge drop down of all these dealers. And I go in, they have in the top right-hand corner training, but they have 101 training certifications. I've been through all of it, as my people have. Not one of it has to do with strategy, content, and focus, because that's not their thing. So the analogy I want to give to the listeners is this. If you look at a building that's built by a construction company, you're not going to have the construction company that puts sheetrock decorate your freaking house. So again, we are focused on all the other details, and dealers need to really pay attention. I spent literally this 1 week with 20 rooftops, 2 dealer groups in a single point store 1 week that I just went through, and every one of them was on VIN. And it's the same thing. Even if they got trained and onboarded by the performance coach, the install team, who the hell is training them on the psychology and the strategy of what these action plan processes are, how to maximize them, and how to really use logic and strategy? It's great that you know how to use the tool, but there's a lot more to it than just the technology aspect to it. You guys agree?
That is great. Hey, you mentioned something around Social Dealer. What's going on over at the Social Dealer camp? What's your affiliation with them? I heard there's some big changes over there.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, good old our good friend Jeff Clark has made the move over there.
First of all, I am beyond excited about Social Dealer. So the first thing that impresses me about them is their lineage. Joe Castle is the dealer principal.
Yeah, I know Joe very well. Great guy.
Yeah, we work with their whole group. And that's one of the reasons why I'm in Chicago right now. I was just on site yesterday. I just posted a video of their beautiful state-of-the-art BDC into our Millionaire Car Salesman group. And so the fact that a major social media software company and agency, was founded by a dealer principal of a very progressive, very modern dealer group in a metro area like Chicago, that's the first reason why I love them. It's unique. Second, the team. Sean Sosu is the CEO. Is a former OEM executive with Volkswagen.
Yeah, he worked with Volkswagen for a while.
Yeah, the dude's a beast. And then, like you just said, Jeff Clark is one of the top, corporate sales officers in the industry. He's been part of a lot of major acquisitions, from StoneAge.com or Car.com, to Dealer.com, to his tenure at Dealeron. And so, it's like anything else. It's like, Jordan when he was with the Bulls, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just the product of software, it's definitely a team backing them. I can't say a lot about it, but I'll say that they have some ridiculous stuff that they're about to unleash with Clark on the team. My affiliation is dual, is that, like I just mentioned, Joe Castle and the Castle Auto Group, the whole group is my client for dealer synergy, for showroom, internet, technology, what have you. And then on a dealer synergy level, Social Dealer is a partner. They're one of the people that we recommend for social media for both dealerships and individual salespeople that are trying to drive traffic. And as I just mentioned, let's talk about this. You guys are familiar with Hootsuite, of course. I just pitched Seltzer and Castle this, and they freaking loved it. Sean's been shooting content on my Brad and platform for like 2 years now. So I have a whole section of Facebook automotive, not Facebook, but Automotive, Facebook Automotive, that's shot all by, Sean Seltzer from Social Dealer. But, I'm on Zoho CRM. So I have Zoho Social for a CRM content management tool, and I have Hootsuite. What I like about Hootsuite is that it offers different packages. One of the first packages or entry level is X amount of dollars, plus you get Hootsuite certification for the platform. But if you upgrade, you get actual social media certification. So I love this. And you have a lot of advanced listeners. So if you think of like Rand Fishkin and Moz, and how not only do they provide technology and services, but they're subject matter experts for SEO. Hootsuite, on the flip side, is a technology provider, but they're subject matter experts also for social media. And they're smart by both offering training, curriculum, certification. So what Social Dealer is doing is that I believe, and the industry believes, that they're one of the leading, players for social media excellence. So they're now not going to just focus on social media management and paid ads. They're actually now developing.
Yep. Sean, I don't know if you can hear us, but you're definitely a bit choppy.
Probably nothing you can do about it. He's sitting in a car dealership. I mean, that's the great thing about Sean. Every time we talk to him, he's in a car dealership working. So he's always going to.
That's true.
But the bad thing about that is he's in a car dealership, and I don't know. I've never been into a car dealership that has state of the art or even close to state of the art hardware, software, anything that gets you out there onto the web. It's
including the one you're sitting at right now.
Yeah, exactly. One of the most important tools in our industry, especially on the dealership level, and probably the most overlooked tool at the car dealership. So yeah, so we're doing
Sorry about the choppiness. I'm at the mercy of the
Wi-Fi. Well, that's just what we were referring to.
So, Sean, we posed a question to you earlier this week, and then again, like yesterday. What's pissing you off?
Yeah, what has you pissed off, Sean? You've been in the industry long enough. I mean, there's so many things come and go, but right now, what has you just?
After 20 years in here, what
I would say that pissed off is a powerful thing. I would say that there are two things that I am very pissed off about, and one of them is on the dealership level, and then one is on the vendor partner level. So, what do you want me to go through first?
Oh, that's a loaded one. You're the first one.
Okay, so on the dealership level, this drives me crazy. It's about HR attrition. It is just insane, and nobody's doing anything about it. So from the OEM level, Chrysler manufacturer in 2018, one of the main focuses is to reduce their hemorrhaging for attrition on an OEM level. They're close to 80% on attrition. The average dealership is 75, 76% attrition as per NED of 2018. And so the problem is multifaceted. First, with the way that we recruit, it is completely antiquated and absurd. There's really no strategy, even for large dealer groups, etc. They do a shit poor job. Everything from the basics, from creating career pages. And all people got to do is go to Google and type in best career pages 2018. HubSpot comes up, Nike comes up. Those are good career pages. Now, I'm not going to say anything at all negative about any companies, but when you have outside companies that create career pages that are not your dealerships, they're their widgets or they're their sub pages for their product, I don't believe in that. A dealership should have their own career page, and a dealership should focus on really making it special. Like how we sell cars, we need to sell the position. We need to have everything in there like an employee value package proposition. Not some bullshit vaporware either, but what is different and better about working with ABC Motors. They should be integration with online reputation, but not Google and Yelp, Glassdoor reviews, as well as Indeed.com reviews. And most of these HR companies out there are not even helping dealers claim their damn pages.
Well, Sean, that's all nice and good, but our dealer is actually walking the walk if they were going to paint that scenario of being a great hiring place and a fantastic employer. And here are the reasons why, and it's it's far more than just selling cars. We're going to teach you, and we're going to show you the way to become a manager and groom you to become a GM one day. What that's what people are looking for. They want to learn on the job, right?
No, 100%. But follow with the trail that I was going on. You're 100% right. What I'm saying is, what you just said is, again, the actual real value, 100%. But whatever it is, let's just say, let's take a positive that there is a dealer that's proactive. They're going to turn on and have a great employee value package proposition, meaning hours, schedules, continued education, training, opportunity, growth, career trajectory. Let's say they have all that, right? The problem is, even if they had that, which most of them don't, point made, but even if they did, they don't have the foundation to turn around and start the proper recruiting. They don't have the career pages. One, they're using antiquated ways. They're not using, modern ways to be able to drive traffic. I'll give you an example. One of the things that I found that is really successful for us, whether it's for sales or even technicians or whatever, is utilizing Facebook for recruiting. I'm in dealerships this week, because I just came from the Top Grading Conference, and I'm just shocked that a lot of these dealers don't even have their Facebook business page set up for free to be able to turn on and receive resumes. Any business could turn on and set that up in the admin section so they could start receiving resumes, not clicks to their website, but directly off of their Facebook page resumes. A lot of dealerships don't even have that set up.
What's that? What's the idea?
Here's another one. So basically using your Facebook business page, setting up the features that allow you to be able to get resumes and post jobs for free organically, but then to raise it up a level strategically, check this out, using Facebook Ad Manager to target for positions. So if I need to hire salespeople or I need to turn around and hire technicians, I can actually target people that currently work at dealerships, at my competitors or big stores. I could coach by targeted Facebook advertising for a fraction of the cost of conventional, HR and recruiting. I could even turn around and let's just say it's not to in dealerships. I could turn around and use video or display on Facebook to turn on and target people that would fit the profile, people that work in call centers for AT&T, Verizon, whatever, and entice them to go through here. So this is what I'm talking about. They're antiquated.
Yep, that's a great one. Totally. In fact, in some ways, I feel like your passion is outperforming the bandwidth of the Wi-Fi you're on.
Probably. Like I said, it drives me crazy. And then to your point, now let's transition to that, is that let's say they get the people. There is very, very little strategy on proper onboarding. I mean, if you think about this, anybody can do this right now that's listening to you guys. You don't have to just listen. If you go to Google, you could find in whatever state you're in, a curriculum from kindergarten to freaking 12th grade. You could get the curriculum online for your state. It might not be the exact textbooks, you know what I mean? But you should be able to turn on and Google the ability to turn around and find what the curriculum is. There's an outline by the state. Dealerships don't have that. When you first walk in as a new hire or as a sales manager or internet director or BDC director or any of that stuff, you don't have that. It's like maybe there's OEM training, maybe there's some basic showroom training road to the sale, but there's no career path curriculum from the second you walk in to how you get to the next levels. Let's use Joe Castle, my client. This is one reason why we're working with him right now. And what we're helping develop is for his stores, because he's on a growth, acquisition for more rooftops. People are going to be able to walk in for showroom sales, whether they have experience or none, and know how they can turn in and get to level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 in showroom, where the road splits so you can start to choose either finance, management, internet, or digital marketing or whatever. And that's what I think that we need to be able to do in our industry if we're going to be able to start competing for real talent. Which brings me to my next point. This is also fucking drives me crazy, guys, is that why are if we're professionals, why are we not doing what other professional organizations do, scout and recruit? For professional athletes, they sometimes get these people in high school, but yet all we do is put a freaking ad on ZipRecruiter, Indeed, and we get pissed when we don't find what we're looking for. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, again, why not do job fairs? Why not have intern programs? Why not turn around and go recruiting and start developing, relationships with universities, community college, vocational schools, for everything from sales and even on the technical, you had advanced people.
Well, it's hard to always be selling when you got to always be recruiting.
Yeah, well, it's I guess it's who Sean, who do you recommend at the dealership to take care of the hiring process? Obviously, everyone needs to be involved. I've the dealerships I've worked with. You should always be hiring. You always have an open position, especially for the sales floor. Like Alex just said, always be hiring, always be recruiting.
Agreed.
We just had an article. Candace just released an article over on the blog. Great article. I recommend everyone taking a moment and reading it. But she goes into her. She's got a niece, and she put together this great story around what it took for this millennial to land his dream job. He's got a degree in marketing or business. He went to a great college and graduated. And believe it or not, his dream job, and how often do we hear this? His dream job is working at a car dealership selling cars. And she just goes through
How do we make more of those?
I know how difficult it was for Will here to land this job. And it wasn't because he's not capable. It wasn't because he didn't have the credentials. It was for the simple fact that the dealerships, the many dealerships that I applied at, they just stopped. None of them followed back up with him. He's the one that followed back up with the dealership. They never called. I mean, it was just it's you got to read it. It's a great read. It's fun.
Hold on, Jeff. Dealers aren't following up with somebody?
I know, hard to believe.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Let me answer your question, because I'm as you guys know, an NADA convention speaker, and this was my last year's actual presentation, so the stats are still raw in my head. Just so we're clear, NADA 2018 says that the average cost per sale and advertising is $640 per car. Fact. NCM may be giving $380 per car. However, the average dealership spends, ready for this, less than $1,000 a month in actual, strategy for proper onboarding and training, etc. So it's dilapidated. That's the problem. Dealers are upside down. They're more focused on driving traffic instead of investing. So to answer your question directly, who? It depends. If you have the desire and the bandwidth, I definitely recommend that you try to do some of it in-house. You know what I mean? Because again, nobody's going to care about your organization. I'm coming from as a business owner of several multi-million-dollar companies. I will get a coach. I will find a partner. But I'm not going to outsource my business, this such an important thing, like HR, solely to somebody else. I mean, it's like, outsourcing, PPC to somebody and hoping that they're going to do the right thing all the time. So I would say, if you do it in-house, get the proper training. And not just in the automotive industry, there's companies outside the automotive industry that work with Fortune 100, Fortune 500 corporations that help you figure out how to set up the things. And again,
like who? What companies out there provide a service?
One of the ones that I just want to recommend is Top Grading. And this is something that probably is very new for most people out there. I found out from them here from the National Speakers Association. In the NSA, I'm in what's called the $1 Million Speakers Group. It's like a very elite 20 group, if you will. And it was the best idea from a guy named David Newman. And he basically was a top grader. I never even heard of him. So there's actually a book. I don't even know the author's name. I apologize. He wrote this best-selling book called Top Grading, and it became an international seller, 3 different versions of it. So then it evolved to a software and a company.
Who is it again, just so we can clarify?
Top Grading. So just topgrading.com.
Okay.
It's a whole unique concept, and this is kind of deep. You take good to great. Their whole concept of top grading is basically identifying top A players. There's A, B, and C players. Their whole strategy is to turn around with their methodology and their technology, how to turn around and solely hire A-list people, period. It's not easy, and what they always say is that, and for the car dealership world, it's not going to be any different. It's chaos now, but it's going to take a little time to implement. But once you do, the results are phenomenal. And it's a global company. They're not in automotive, really. I'm bringing them in, but they're just phenomenal. We started using it with Dealer Synergy in-house for our own internal, and it's changed dramatically. And
Wow.
now we're scaling them to our dealers.
So, and do they also touch, I'm sure they do. I mean, we talk about finding the right employees, hiring the right employees, but what about keeping the right employees around? You know, we'll hire them, we'll have them around for 2 or 3 months. They hit that 3-month brick wall, and then all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah. Again, what top grading specializes in is the top grading process and screening. They definitely have recommendations, but understand this: HR is a very broad term. A lot of people miscategorize it. Staffing and recruiting is one thing. Onboarding and retention is another thing. That's the other thing, is that we need to understand definitions. It's like doctors. That's a very broad statement. So HR is extremely broad. And so for what we're talking about here, having a proper strategy for recruiting, that's going to be finding potential candidates. That's an art form and a strategy. Once you've got those candidates, how do we vet them and make sure that they're the right fit for your particular organization? And once we do that, how do you onboard them? How do you train them? And then how do you keep them? And so you need to have the complete holistic strategy going.
You think there's a big difference between hiring and retaining the millennials versus you know, baby boomers, older generation, our generation, et cetera?
I'm going to say something, and I don't mean any disrespect by it.
Say it.
It's like saying, "Is
Let it rip."
Say it.
No, because this is a fucked up, you know, thing. People take it the wrong way. That's like me turning around and responding and saying, "Jeff, is it different hiring black people or, you know, midgets or something like that, or little people, whatever they're called?" The answer is no. People are people. When we keep putting people in categories, that's going to turn on screw. And, you know, here's the thing. Everybody talks about millennials and stuff like this, but you got to understand. Can you guys hear me?
No, I totally hear you, and I totally agree.
No, follow me. Is senior citizens are
No, you're getting a bit choppy, Sean.
Huh? Yeah.
Your passion's outweighing the bandwidth again.
Yeah, slow it down, bro.
Not the bandwidth. So, Jeff, I would answer you like this: is say no. I definitely think that we should learn from what millennials' expectations are, what's important to them. But again, a person is a person. That's like back in the day, Jeff. Remember, we've had this conversation years and years ago, like a decade ago. It's like an internet. People lost their damn minds. An up is an up. An internet prospect is the same as a showing prospect. An up is an up. So if you understand what makes someone happy and what's common freaking sense for this century, you should treat them for somebody, whether they're a senior citizen or they are Generation X or they're millennial. Does that answer make sense?
It makes total sense to me. We're on the same page. I just want to verify.
Yeah, for sure.
I would also say this. I challenge anybody listening here, and even you guys, your opinion. What dealer do you know that when they come in, like a new hire, again, I don't care if, let's start with brand new green fee, right? That actually has a clear path on how to do their job in 2018, 2019. I'm talking about this. So obviously there's OEM product knowledge certification. There's the road to the sale. And then there's basically BS remedial CRM training, okay? And even if it's advanced, but that's what it is. What about all the other stuff? You know what drives me fucking crazy is that car people still say that car sales is like owning your own business. Have you said that? Have you heard that before?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the great thing about working in car sales. It's like you're working for yourself. You've got your own business.
Listen, bro, that's bullshit. You know why? Because if you don't ever teach somebody how to be an entrepreneur,
Which is a lazy way for dealerships to throw off so they don't have to do training.
Yes, and that's the problem. It drives me crazy because I'm a real entrepreneur. It's more than the road to sell, product knowledge, and basic CRM training. Let's start with time management, organization, social media, marketing, advertising, branding, you know, and there's a myriad of other things that people need to do. This week alone, even high-level stores that are selling 1,000 units a month, I walk in, not one salesperson's got their own freaking website. I'm like, Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? And the ones that do, they're shitty like Wix websites. You know what I mean? There's no SEO, there's no strategy to them. You know, follow me on this. If a manufacturer, let's use Castle Buick GMC, I was just there yesterday, right? Buick manufacturer has its own strategy for marketing, websites, social, all this stuff. Why does Castle Buick have their own website? And you know why? The manufacturer does national advertising because Joe Castle doesn't have shit to do with Buick's money or business. Joe has a business within Buick's business. Salespeople need to turn around and think of themselves as a franchise, metaphorically speaking, of the dealership they work for and start following the yellow brick road of their dealer. Everything from the website, social traffic, etc. And this shit is not taught. It's not taught. Time management. Here's another thing that kills me. Most what I find, especially at my training level with Franklin Covey, is that most salespeople and managers are not effective. They're spending 8, 10, 12 hours a day and they get shit done. And I'm like, why? Because nobody ever taught them how to manage their time, how to prioritize their time. We say on social media and memes that time is money. Really, you don't act like it. If time is really money, then everything you would do would be protocol-based, priority-based, and you would only execute on actions and things that are going to have maximum probability of success. And then you de-escalate to the dumb shit. But people come to work and they just react to what's going on. They do not live by design. They live by default. That frustrates me.
So you wrote something back in response to an email sent you, I guess, a week or two ago, and there was something you said in there that really struck a chord with me. You said most dealers do not train, and the ones that do don't realize that they are not training people. They are merely exposing them to information. So it's just, here's a training program from Honda. Go watch this for 3 days, and now you're onboarded. Welcome to the team, kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's how I learned, Joe Verdi. VHS tapes, baby.
Yep.
Jeff, I had a question for you. Jeff, have you ever watched a kung fu movie or a martial art movie?
Kung fu movie, yeah, man. I love some of the older kung fu movies.
Like Bruce Lee?
Well, who doesn't, man?
My point being, so if you watch a couple of Bruce movies, hell, if you watch this whole library of movies, does that make you a ninja? Does that make you a Shaolin monk? No.
Oh, yeah. Until I climbed up on the roof and fell off.
Yeah, some days I think I'm a ninja. But no, to answer your question, no, it doesn't. It doesn't make me.
Hey, at least I'm Honda certified.
That's the other part of it, brother, Alex, is that people have a false sense of security. And me, as a speaker and as a trainer, it's humbling. But the reality is, if I come in, I'm not really training you. I'm exposing you to the information. Even if I talk about one subject for the entire day, yeah, I'm exposing you, but training has to do with repetition, consistency, and experience. I'll give an example. A Navy SEAL doesn't become a fucking Navy SEAL because they went through buds training once. I'm telling you, they practice and drill rehearse. They live, breathe, and they personify that shit.
Well, I'm from Virginia Beach. There's some guys on SEAL Team 6 and 5 that might disagree with you. You know, they talk about SEAL Team 1 or something, but no, sorry.
You know what I mean? You need to take time and really go through the information. I'm past it. I took it. I'm going. You know, you need to be sure that you are practice drilling, rehearsing. I have a thing that actually Karen came up with, my wife, who's the CEO of the company, but it's true. Why practice with real people? Dealers practice with real people every day, all day. They burn through people because, they burn through people. They burn through people on emails. They burn through people on the phones. They burn through people on the showroom. They burn through them on social media because they're not practicing, drilling, and rehearsing, you know, as much as they should. And here's my thing, guys, and this is the other part that's part of the email. I don't know if you picked up on it, is that practice doesn't make perfect. That's bullshit. Whoever told you that needs to be slapped. Practice makes permanent. So if you are practicing the wrong things or antiquated things or illegal things or unethical things, it doesn't make it perfect. It just makes it permanent. So it's perfect practice makes perfect. That's what I meant by that statement in the email.
That's a good quote. I might steal that one from you.
Please take it. It's all ours, man. You know, I took it from somebody probably. You know what I mean? So take it.
I like it. Well, also, we started to talk a little bit about industry frauds. None of those exist. I don't know what you're talking about there.
Man, don't get me started. All I'm going to say
I'm trying to get you started.
Now, because I don't know if you guys noticed, and because Jeff, we haven't talked in a while, I'm not going to get into details. I had a personal situation happen with family And it's been over 2 years since I have posted anything controversial, negative. I got a whole legion of haters. You know what I mean? I got people that it's their job. I swear to God, they wake up, they put on I Hate Sean shirt, they got their cup I Hate Sean, and they have a mission. It's crazy. Like, if you look at this, guys, like when I travel, I check in everywhere.
It's a measure of success, Sean.
So my point being here is that, with all that being said, there's so many people out there because of social media. This is the double-edged sword. They have a megaphone. And again, not mentioning any names because Jeff knows, it was actually on Dealer Refresh that one of our colleague vendors from a phone training company posted something about one of the industry's people. But it's not just him, there's other people, you know what I mean, that are out there. And just because they're online, and if they buy some likes or friends on Instagram, poor dealers that don't know any better, they hear somebody's bullshit or see some Photoshop stuff, and they actually hire them and they dig themselves into deeper holes. So yeah, it's frustrating because I have to unfuck this stuff, when I go into their stores and clean up the messes from these people.
Mm. Yeah, I don't get me started on that either. So I'll steer clear from that.
By the way, we've got a we've got a lot of great comments coming in on Facebook. I don't know if you're watching it, Sean.
I can't have the screen here.
That's
Yeah,
all right.
you got to be careful too. Because volume's up, we'll get a nice echo.
That's true. But Rick Buffkin thinks you should get your own hashtag. Have you started that yet?
Well, we've used the orange tie guy and the millionaire car salesman because of the group. That's the only ones. I'm late to the hashtag game.
Well, I thought it was pretty funny. Let's see. Yeah, and Rick.
Yeah, but you have a tendency to laugh at a lot of things that other people don't laugh at. But it's cool. It's all good.
I know.
Anyways,
I probably have some of those haters like you, Sean. Jeff's one of them, by the way. But yeah, Rick, going back on some of the things you were saying, like Rick was saying that most dealerships' HR departments are really just payroll departments, and they're not set up for doing the kind of stuff that you're talking about.
Because they're confusing what HR is from recruiting and staffing. That's the thing.
That's a good point.
They're misinformed of what HR is. HR is a broad umbrella. There's subcategories. Like BDC, here's my correlation to us because we're all in the same world. I mean, like, BDC means something different to everybody. Unsocial traffic, data mining, equity mining, lease retention, whatever, or all the above. HR is like a BDC umbrella. There's so many different subsets or subsidiaries, metaphorically speaking, with HR.
True. So, I think some of what you were saying about that might have gotten a little washed out in some of the bad feed earlier. But as a straight up solution, what I think you're kind of saying that dealers need to start looking at their HR department a little differently, maybe giving it some of the resources that would be necessary to help fix some of these issues. And what would be a good way to start that?
I'm actually doing it right here. Like,
okay.
I'm going to tell you what I just turned around and said. Matter of fact, can I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Is it PG rated?
Yeah, 100%. So no, I'm going to turn around and give you guys free stuff that that dealers pay for. So I'm going to turn around and pull this up really quick.
Oh, really?
Look at this. So can you guys see my screen?
Sure can.
Okay, so this is exactly what I just turned around and did. So human resources, create an employee value package proposition, create employee job scorecards. This means basically begin with the end result in mind. People are always complaining that they have, this employee. I got to tell you, I don't like, there's an ad going on. I'm not going to mention the vendor, and it says, "Are you tired of your shitty employees?" And it's not cool. So if you're tired of the people that you don't think are effective, begin with the end result in mind. What is the ultimate salesperson, ultimate BDC rep? Mind map that out, for the different departments. Create a dealership career page. Create the Glassdoor reputation strategy. Create the Indeed reputation strategy. Create employee video testimonials, including from the dealer. Create custom job ads. Here's something I just learned from the top grading. That's one of the biggest things. Guys, think about email templates, for example. I'm going to correlate to our industry, like for lead follow-up, right? If you have the basic generic, follow-up that's cut and pasted from, I'm going to go back to the blast, Jeff, from AVD web controller, iMagic, like back a decade ago.
Oh, yeah.
You differentiate yourself. You need to have ass-kicking custom jobs that are custom for your organization, that personifies your feel, your vibe, your culture, etc. Create custom job ads, then create video job ads. I'm really big on creating and advocating creating video, 15, 30-second, and even a minute long recruiting stuff that you could use for, Facebook paid ads, or, on organic or on your website, etc. Make sure all social media and Google business resources are set up for HR careers. That's what I was talking about before. And then you need to syndicate the ads. The other thing that I would also turn around and say is that, and I'm going to get back off of this right here. That's all I want.
Oh, we wanted to see the dollars, man.
No, that was for their marketing stuff.
No,
That's
I know.
vendor thing. That's something I'm pissed off about on the vendor side. But to go back to this, is that here's another thing I would say. You need to mind map it. This is Cubby 101. Begin with the end result in mind. So I would say before they do anything, step one is figure out all the stuff that I just said. Before you buy or hire or do anything, if you're a dealer or executive manager in charge of recruiting in any way, shape, or form, begin with what you want first. And then just reverse engineer how you're going to get it. And then if you can't do it yourself, either find the education, the training, or the networking to be able to do it, or get a partner or coach to help you do it. And then that's what I would do on the HR. But like with Jeff, I forgot what it was, either you or Jeff. Then Jeff said, okay, but now that's the recruiting side. Once you have that, great. The next part is, okay, in the sequential chronologically, is the onboarding side. Make sure you have an onboarding strategy. I'm going to show you this. Again, you guys could use Cardone, Verdi, anybody. So this is not a commercial. I'm just trying to show you. It's a lot easier to show people instead of just talk on this. So if you turn around, this is really good advice that I do with my clients. So let's go real quick. First of all, this is a top graded thing, but I took 11 pages of notes. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, like certification. That dealers need to begin with the end result in mind. It took me like months to do this, and it's important that dealers turn around and figure this out. Okay, so I'm just going to go into the certification side of things really quick here. Okay, let me get the button. Okay, here we go. Okay, so when they come in, right, instead of just giving them just random training, you want to break down what you want them to do. So I'm at the mercy of this Wi-Fi, guys, but you'll see this. So again, what we recommend, any dealer can do this on their own or with whatever partner they're working with. Have a new hire certification strategy where, it's basically onboarding. Like what we do, it's let's begin philosophy, welcome to the automotive industry, and then pre-training curriculum. We want them to get exposed to cars.com, car gurus, Edmunds, etc. Give, salespeople and internet people the background, the prerequisite stuff. Then there's different, categories of stuff here. Again, for let's say phone sales certification, but it's not just one. Look at this. For level one, you have a whole curriculum of what you need. And then, there's different levels. You have associate's degree, you've got bachelor's, you've got a master's, you've got a PhD. Same thing with showroom sales. But now watch, there's more certifications than this, but this is just what I'm showing you in this demo thing right here. But if you turn around and think, let's say showroom sales. Showroom sales is one thing, but it's not just showroom sales. A showroom salesperson needs to have training in phone sales. They need to turn and have training in, let's just say CRM. They need to have training in, branding or personal, marketing or whatever it is. So most dealers don't have it at that level. So here's what I'm recommending, and this is what we're doing for all our people. So dealers should do this on their own, is create what curriculum you want and you need your people to have. Then once you create the curriculums, don't make just one and done, have different levels so they could turn around and scale into the knowledge over time and experience. Now, this is one thing. Now watch. Next thing is this, I'm taking it off of here. This is high level stuff, is once you turn around and you have those levels, I want you to turn around and create what's called as employee classifications. So let's just use a showroom salesperson. structure here. Program starts classification, a novice, intermediate, advanced. I'm making stuff up. I have cooler names than that. To be a novice, then you're going to map out what curriculums you need that equal novice. So you might need level 1 of showroom, CRM, and phones. To be an intermediate, you might need level 2 of this, this, and this, level 1 of that, and maybe level 1 of something else. To be level 3, you might, you see what I'm saying? So different.
So is this, so basically, is it like you reach level 1, now you are enabled to go out and up customers, maybe take phone calls? Or is this something you've got to go through all 4 levels to work here?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, exactly. It is literally, think of kindergarten to your PhD, no exaggeration.
Okay.
You know?
So this is, so what you're proposing here is different education levels for different time on job. And
not this time on job. And this is important because think about prodigies, you know, that there's kids that are 12 years old that have their master's degrees, like legitimately. And so I don't want you to be in time prison. You know, if you are going to be able to learn, if you, people that are listening, write this down. This is definitely a big takeaway. There's 2 ways that you classify this. One is, let's just use time, like you said, Alec. I'm gonna build off what you said. So let's just say 0 to 3 months is level 1. And then from 3 to 6 months is level 2. From 6 to 12 months is level 3. And 1 to 3 years is level 4. Let's start with time. So that's one way, time. Then what you want to be able to do is figure out, if you're a manager, what should your people know and be able to do and accomplish in level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. This is deep. And then what you want to be able to do is, you're not going to force people to be in time, because if I've been in there, technically by time, I'm only a level 2, but because of my experience, my proactiveness, my success, I could be a level 4, but there's no guidelines like this. I've created guidelines, and everybody can create guidelines by just taking a damn time and map it out. Play chess, get a whiteboard, and just figure out. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is what drives me crazy. If I'm a manager, I know what I would love to have as a salesperson. I know what I would love to have as an internet director. I know what I'd love to have as a service writer. So map it out and then figure out what your people need, experience-wise, curriculum-wise, training-wise, and then get it for them, period. Structure.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So have a vision for what you want to achieve. That's
Right.
first and foremost. Right. And then figure out what you've been doing so far, and then build a curriculum to speak to the vision.
Jeff, question for you, because you work for a large dealer group. I had a question for you. In your opinion, especially from Dealer Refresh or what have you, how many dealers that have at least 10 to 20 salespeople on the floor could, like this, know exactly, not just because of feeling, but because they have some type of quantification of what level each one of them are at? Let's just say from level 1 through 4. Because in me, as a business owner,
they're all level 4, Sean.
Yeah.
Here's what it is if you don't have a mechanism to quantify and qualify that, you can't. It's just your opinion. Oh, I think that person might be this. Well, what gives you that opinion? There needs to be some type of guidelines that makes somebody a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And here's the clincher. Tie it to pay plan. Incentivize it. Because if you have these levels, this is what we do. We tie it to 2 things. We create the levels. We map them out in tandem in the CRM, and we map them out into the pay plan. And so there's a trajectory. Bonuses, pre-qualifiers are by your level. So there's incentivization to go through the levels and get to the next highest level you could achieve.
No, right on. No, I mean, to answer your question, I don't need the answer to the question. You know the answer to that.
So as I know you're going to be short on time, Sean, because you're in the store and you've got a schedule to adhere to.
I have 11 minutes, but you can cut it whenever you want. I'm here.
Oh, cool. Well, I did want to touch on some CRM. I mean, you and I, and it's for selfish reasons, because my favorite conversations with you have always been around that topic.
What's your
So,
favorite
It's
conversation?
definitely
well, yeah, that's my favorite topic for everything. So,
all right. So again, you want to lead off the conversation, or you want me just to go in?
well, I, has the utilization of the CRM even evolved in the last decade?
Yeah, but it's like we take two steps forward and take a step backwards. Why? I'm gonna link the segments because of HR. Just think about it. If the average dealership is doing 73 or 75% attrition, that means that if there's 10 salespeople on the floor, 7.5 of them are going to be gone the first year. So even if you had a ninja install team from the best trainers nationally that are there, fuckers are gone when the new people come in. And so they're getting a regurgitated, redundant version of how to use it or have you. So HR kills not only CRM, but all tools and resources, because when there's high turnover, there's no real experience, continuity, and consistency in your CRM. If that answers that first question.
I like the connection there. I like where you're going.
Okay, next question.
Oh shit! I didn't have a next question.
All right, then
I was waiting for you to go.
You can elaborate around.
Here's the thing I'm going to say. You know, the reality is this: is that not one of the CRM companies out there, and I love some of them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to mention any names unless somebody asks me. But you know, and I don't make $1 from any CRM companies. I don't get referral agreements, all that stuff. But it's just my personal preference. But not one of them, in my opinion, is the most awesome for CRM, like globally, because dealers use automotive CRMs. When you compare CRMs in our industry to like Zoho, which I use, I love, or with like Salesforce, it's just different worlds of stuff. And so 100%, we work with 15 different CRMs, mostly obviously the big, ones that everybody uses. But we customize them at Dealer Synergy. Like we almost like jury rigged all the CRMs, even my number one favorite one that the vast majority of my clients are on. I completely use that tool like no other dealer uses that tool. So that's the first thing I would say is that if you use a CRM out the box, you've got to be really careful because again, the CRM companies specialize in the technology. They don't specialize in your dealership, your culture, your philosophy, your process, your people, etc. So it's really important for dealers, to understand your CRM tool. I mean, from the top down. If I do a lot of 20 group groupings like you guys do, and dealer principals and GMs always say to me, listen, I got 50 million things. What are the 2 or 3 things I really need to keep my pulse on? So I got people for the rest of the shit. And I'm like, one of them is definitely CRM. Because this is the central nervous system. If you don't know anything about it, you've never logged in, you don't know how to use it, how the hell are you going to turn around and know if your people are using it the right way and holding them accountable? And so it starts there. The next part of it is the customization. For the love of God, can you dealers out there stop using the basic bullshit vanilla, action plans, processes from your company? And I'm going to mention a name here because I'm very tight with them, Bin Solutions. I love them. But Bin Solutions Corporate will go on record and say they don't want to turn around and give you processes and scripts and all that shit. But because most dealers are fucking lazy and they're not going to turn around and do it the right way, they ask their performance manager, hey, what do you got for feedback? And paste it. And so they'll give it to you because you're their client and they're trying to make you happy. But that's the worst thing you should do. You need to stop and actually mind map every possible protocol. Let's go through internet for a second here. You need to have a specific action plan for how to handle trade-ins.
Can we take a quick step back? You've said mind mapping twice now, and I know there are some good programs out there that assist in doing that. They're cheap. I use a Mac. You use a Mac. Is there one in particular like MindNode or something else that somebody can just go grab in the App Store real quick and start plugging it in?
The one we use, because we have the software, is Visio. So Visio is really good, but you got to pay for that. So you don't have to use Visio. What I would say, though, is you can just use it on a Google Word document or whiteboard. Mind map just means taking the time to begin with the end result and map out. It could be like with no writing. It could just be literally in your mind, kind of just process map it out. Most salespeople and managers, I'm not saying all, but most of them, don't do that. They don't turn around and play chess for every possible scenario. And again, I'm still chasing the pink elephant or the unicorn in our industry. I've never met one CRM, even my clients, that have every possible process mapped out in the CRM the right way. You know what I mean? There's definitely people that are better than most, because one reason why, this is a Sean Stapleton statement, why don't people lift weights? Because they're freaking heavy. It's not an easy thing to mind map and then code into, you know, these action plans in whatever CRM that you're doing. And
Right.
so go back to that, is that they need to turn on it and be able to become a master.
Would you, so, you know, you're talking about maybe in some ways a skill set, and the kind of people that we typically promote to sit on the management desk have a skill set for negotiating deals. They might not have a skill set for recognizing process.
Right.
So is there somebody who might already be in the store or maybe in the group who does have that kind of skill set?
Here's what I would say. And again, it depends what type of organization, because again, if we're at a small single point store with certain amount of human resources and also physical limitations as far as like square footage, etc., versus a dealer group. So I would say this: CRM is so important. What you want to do, to your point, is identify the best person to be able to be the liaison with the CRM company. And I want to be clear when I say this, that not necessarily means the internet director or BDC director. Okay?
You mean the person who gets all the technology thrown at them, says you fix it?
That's still going to get me started on that. That's a whole other rabbit hole. It's another show. You know, but yes, you need to have somebody. But if you don't have somebody on the team, in my professional opinion, don't just limp along and just deal with whoever you got. Find somebody. Because again, if you turn around and find somebody that you can train, you know, to do CRM for your store, I'd rather do that than just be mediocre with it. You know what I mean? So again, it's not that expensive that somebody might not even have CRM experience, but you could get them trained between a training company and a CRM company to get somebody at a cost-effective rate to be able to manage. I actually got people.
All right, so let's take something, and maybe we can end on this note. So you said something. My favorite takeaway from today's show is your suggestion to do Facebook advertising for recruits.
Right.
So go out and specifically target certain jobs and whatnot, and try to recruit them to your dealership. Now, maybe we could talk about who to look for that could be someone who comes in and recognizes your processes and is able to maybe manage your CRM for you.
Absolutely. There's two types. There's people with experience or without experience. You know, I mean, with companies like Salesforce and Zoho, CRM is actually becoming, you know, more mainstream, if you will. And so obviously, if you get somebody that's experienced in CRM, they're going to be way more expensive. In my opinion, I don't think that's even necessary. You know, it would be great if they did have experience, but if you were going to recruit somebody that their sole responsibility was just your CRM, you could find somebody that is, you know, fresh out of college, or somebody that has, you know, certain type of skills. What type of skills I would say? Obviously, you know, multitasking, you know, basic data entry type stuff.
Maybe somebody with a degree in psychiatry.
That could definitely be helpful.
Well, if you're talking about somebody fresh out of school, you know, they can be had for, you know, somebody with a lot less experience for less money than somebody with a lot of experience.
It'd be great work experience.
Oh yeah. Talk about an experiment.
Yeah. I think someone that might be better is a project manager. Project managers are not really.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, project managers that I would choose if I was going to try to find a close niche industry, because a project manager has to turn around and be able to be methodically organized and being able to turn around and be. I think they would be a natural fit to transition to CRM administrators, CRM specialists, or something like that.
All right, so we need a project manager with a psychiatry degree. All right, that's your unicorn. So, well, we might have lost Sean, although I got to say his freeze is a lot more flattering than your last video.
Project managers and unicorns, Alex. I don't know
Purple
where
elephants.
I don't know
orange ties. I took mine off, by the
What
way.
happened to this Refresh Friday? I'm scared.
Yeah,
Well,
so today was interesting. We talked about a different than instead of like digital marketing or leads or sales. I'm glad that we had this conversation. I think that we talked about a lot of great things, and if you guys could send me that link from Dealer Refresh on the HR, I'd love to read it, and I'll post it in my group and in my network.
yeah, we'll definitely send that out to you right after the show.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Post it. Well, Sean, we really appreciate your time. I feel like this Refresh Friday like blew by. Like I swear we started 10 minutes ago, and it's 2 o'clock now. So lots of great information. Lots of great information to take away. Again, I thought we had 2 or 3 different topics to touch on. I think we scraped the surface of maybe 2. So again, thank you very much, Sean. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back here next week, same time, Friday, Refresh Friday. Again, real quick, since I was refreshed on how to do a screen share, and watch, I'll totally forget how to do it again. I can't believe I forgot. Actually, the button was hidden. It wasn't my fault. But be sure to check out the webinar that we have going on. We've got this, 1 o'clock, September 19th. Be sure to sign up, email, first thing, last thing, that's it. Information won't be shared other than with Dominion, which is going to be putting on the webinar for us. But we're going to go through and evaluate your digital marketing. We've got 10 questions that you can ask yourself that will allow you to evaluate your digital marketing. So be sure to sign up for this, jump over in the forums, jump over on the blog, click on the ad, or contact myself directly, and we'll get this set up for you.
And next week is a twofer. So we've got the webinar Jeff just talked about, and then we got Refresh Friday, of course. So Brian Pash will be on, and we're going to talk about what digital retailing really is.
Oh, Lord.
It even exists. All right.
All right, Sean, thank you so much again. And Alex, I'll talk to you soon. See everybody next Friday.
See you guys. Thanks.
Bye.